Hello, YouTube Dragon Man here. Back for a new deck profile. I haven't done one of these in quite some time. This is one for Yu-Gi-Oh! Unfortunately, it is Admancipator, and of course, this is my most competitive level deck I currently own. I think my second most competitive level deck is my True Dracos. Starting off, play 3 Researchers. If you don't know what a Researcher does, pause the video. There you go. Now with Researcher, if you're trying to play this deck, you can get away with 2 copies, but if you only have the 1 copy, it's your deck is kind of. I'm not saying it's not playable, but it becomes very hard. Researcher is just so good. Next is 3 Seekers, and I'll get into their generic effects, their effects once I reveal all of them. And finally, I play three Analyzers. Okay. Now then, getting into it. Researchers, you can special summon Researcher by if you control any rock monster. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's a rock. You can special summon this card from your hand. And each one of these has the effect of, during your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck and special summon any level 4 lower non-tuner rock monster. Which is nice, and that's how they... And the thing is, all 3 of these are tuners. Seeker, if you control another Admancipator monster, you can special summon him from your hand. I'm so awkward when it comes to doing this. I haven't done this in forever. Analyzer. The weird thing is, Analyzer, for its special summon effect, it's mostly a go second effect because your opponent has to control a monster. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So essentially, it's a Cyber Dragon in order for you to get its special summon effect. Yeah, boy. Now, I've play tested this deck with every single one of the eggs. If you don't know what the eggs are the gemstones of the deck. And there's one for Sapphire, one for Ruby, one for Emerald. It's only really best to play Dragtite, which is the Sapphire. Because if this card is special summoned by the effect of any Admancipator card, whether it be their effect, their Synchro monster, their Wind Synchro monster, or their Monster Reborn spell card, then you can draw. Then you get to draw 1 card. Now all of them has the secondary effect of, if this card's in your graveyard, you can return 1 of their type Synchro monster from your graveyard back to your extra deck. And place this card on top of your deck. Now, the only reason why I don't play the others is because it's quite simple. Their effects are kind of lackluster. Their graveyard effect is, when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Admancipator card, you can place 1 rock monster from your hand or graveyard on top of your deck to try and make it easier for you to hit your rock monsters. That's not really a big issue in this deck when about 90% of your monsters, actually it's more like 95% of your monsters, are rocks. So it's really kind of pointless to run the others. Next, I run 3 Kokomaru Guardians. The early game stall to... if you can start off with this, and one of your best opening hands is starting off with Guardian and Researcher. because you can normal summon Guardian, then special summon Researcher. Because the thing is, with Guardian on the field, during each of your end phases, destroy this card unless you send one Iron Core. Yeah, but the effect you want is when a monster effect is activated, quick effect, you contribute this card to negate the activation, destroy that. If you do, destroy that monster. The reason why this is so good and great is because this helps you, your opponent not Nibiru you. There's a lot of people that says Nibiru doesn't kill this deck. A correct timed Nibiru will kill this deck. Especially if you haven't used your Researcher. Well, if you've already used your Researcher, yeah, Nibiru kind of kills the deck. If you haven't, then you're kind of good. Next, I play 3 copies of Doki Doki. I thought about trying to play these in lower numbers at 2, but I wouldn't say it's great, but I've had so many times where I've opened with this, and with Doki Doki, I've literally gone, because of this, I've discarded cards like Kokimeru Guardian or any of my other level 4 rock monsters to get Fetch Out Analyzer, because I have a card in my extra deck that's like, oh, cool, I can do this. And you'll see. Because the thing is, I don't see other people playing this card in their deck. It's like, this card's generic. Awesome. Alrighty then. And when I get to my extra deck, you'll see. Next, I play 3 Tackle Crusaders. This was a interesting tech card that was during the Crush Card Cup from Seema's channel. And 1, it's generic, especially for rocks, and 2, it's really awesome, really good if you can get these under your Xyz monsters, which, from my experience with the deck and from what I've seen from others, you only play like 2 Xyz monsters in the whole deck. So 3 copies of Tackle Crusader. Now, I've tried running this one at more copies at full power, but the problem is I've had a few times where I've had way too many in my hand. And unfortunately, he must first be special summoned, okay, from your hand by banishing an earth monster from your graveyard. Cool. No one really cares about its second effect. The problem is, I've had so many times where I've hit him from their excavations. And given how his wording is, I don't really know. It's like, can he still be special summoned? Or do I have to special summon first to even... He's just another weird card. I try my best. You really just don't want him in your opening hand, or you don't want to hit him from your excavations from my experience. So currently right now, I only play 2 copies of Gigantes. Now, I only play 1 copy of this card because it's a tech card. 2, this is supposedly just to help stop zombie decks. And that is Gate Blocker. It's generic. It's a generic Earth Rock level 4 monster. What does it do? Negate the effects of your opponent's field spell cards. Your opponent cannot place counters on cards on the field. Your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with card effects. Well, why is that good? Well, specifically, it's mostly negate the effects of field spells. So as long as this card's on the field, if you can keep this card, which is not hard really, you can just leave it in defense mode. And basically, there's 2 field spells that are constantly still played, and that is, of course, Mystic Mine, which if you control whoever controls more monsters, they can't activate their monster effects nor declare attacks. If Gate Blocker's on the field, I'm pretty sure even if your opponent activates Mystic Mine, it can't activate. As well as it kind of stops Zombie World, which Zombie World kind of destroys this deck. Anybody who has experience with zombies. Next, I do play 1 copy of O-Lion. Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion. This is the card that I combo off with with Analyzer to make the certain play, which once I get through my deck, I'll do a test run for you. And unfortunately, I do play one copy of Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. It's an option, and it's not hard for me to get the option. Hold on, let me readjust. I had to clean up the board. And unfortunately, I play one Block Dragon. Now, the thing with Block Dragon is he is super generic. His special summon is not once per turn, but here's the thing. I'm only playing one copy of him on the off chance he gets hit on the next ban list, because on the next if we do get a current ban list by the time of this recording of this video, I want to try to make quick changes without in case Block Dragon does get banned. I do feel like Block Dragon will get hit because Block Dragon is just stupid with this deck. It's also stupid with Megalith, but Megalith is not really that great until their next wave of support, which is in the next core booster set. So that's the only reason why I'm only running one Block Dragon. I don't like opening him up in my starting hand. I like to search him out from between two card effects. So I only play the one, and really you just need to activate the one copy. And to round up my monsters, I play 3 Ash Blossoms. A form of disruption, and from what I've realized with trying to play competitive, you have to have at least one form of disruption to try to have on your opponent. Some form of hand traps. And the thing is, Ash Blossom is a very generic hand trap. Moving on to the spells. Now, there are... If you realize, all this are monsters. Admancipator is a monster-heavy deck. They hardly play any spell cards. And to help fight against hand traps, I played 3 Call by the Graves. It's a generic... So really, I think every deck should have Call by the Graves, just to help protect themselves against hand traps, because there's some hand traps, a good will-timed hand trap will just kill your deck. I would try to play more copies of this. Cosmic Cyclone, pay 1,000, target 1 spell trap, and banish it. By doing this, you can basically get rid of cards as like... it's a good way to get rid of like cards like Mystic Mine and Zombie World without having to really worry about it. Plus, it's a quick play spell. It also just gets rid of like any generic back row that your opponent just set on the board. It's like, okay, I'm gonna Cosmic Cyclone that. And I've tried running 3, but I had to take away 1 copy of it, and it's really, since I took out their Synchro Monster Leonite, so I only played 2 copies of Signs. This is their Monster Reborn of the deck. It's also not once per turn. And for traps, I only play 1 trap, but I play 3 copies of it, and that is Solemn Judgment. The only reason why I play Solemn Judgment in this deck is to help me for protection against Dark World of No More, because the thing is, Dark World of No More kind of kills this deck. This is my only out to Dark World of No More. And can you play without this? Yes, I can make room with for other cards, probably more either draw cards like Pot of Avarice, just to get more cards back. But this is just a super negate. And the thing is, Admancipators, they build plenty of negates on the board. but it's through their monster effects. And the thing with Dark World No More, if you don't know, when your opponent activates Dark World No More, monster effects cannot activate in response to this card's activation. So that's the reason why I run Solemn Judgment. They activate Dark World No More, well, I flip Solid Judgment. Of course, I pay half my life points, but now their Dark World No More is negated and now it's destroyed, so they would have to play a second Dark World No More. Moving on to the extra deck. I play one copy of Granite. This is one of the cards I use to help search out for Block Dragon. Trying to speed this up a little bit. I play one copy of Biz Dweller to help shut my opponent out on their graveyard. One copy of Metal Marcher. One copy of Hero Arclight. So it stops, once this card hits the field, you basically stop your opponent's hand traps. One copy of Admancipator Risen Reptite. This is the other excavation card that lets you special summon. I play one copy of F.A. Don Draxler, and this is the card I was talking about that combo with Analyze and O-Line, because the thing is, when O-Line leaves the field, you get a token. It's a level 3 token. Analyzer is a level 4. So that way, and that makes level 7. This is level 7. Just play this card in defense mode, and you have a multiple negation for spells and trap cards. So as long as you have level. So with this, you can activate its effect, see, 3 times till it's level 1. So Don Draxler alone can negate 3 spells and trap cards, as long as they're not counter traps. One copy of Dragnite. One copy of Draco Berserker of the Tenyu. If I have now, my extra deck isn't fully complete. If I have Boral Savage, this would become my Boral Savage. But I currently don't have Boral Savage. Moving on to my Link monsters. I'll play one copy of Nightmare Cerberus. Not really for its effect. It's mostly just for, it's a generic Link monster, and it's an Earth attribute. I play Crystron Cancer. A lot of people were asking for this card to get hit on the ban list. I could see that, but the problem is, this card's, it's still so new. And we haven't really seen a whole lot of plays. When did Dual Overload come out? Did Dual Overload come out before the Crisis? I can't remember. One copy of Link Cross. This card is super strong. Though, not on this list, but probably on the next list, I can see the Link Cross getting banned. Just because, like, Konami does not like token generators. Union Carrier. Now, this is the card I used to. This is the other card I used to search out with for either Block Dragon, but this is also the card I used to search out for my Destruction Sword, and it's my only way to activate Destruction Sword's effect. Now, this guy is just generic. Decode Talker. I only play one copy of him. 1, he's generic. 2, he's the dark. Plus, I need another Link 3. If I had a unicorn, I'd probably be making Decode Talker the unicorn. But for right now, he does great for what he does. One copy of Boral Sword. Mostly for, like, going second options. But my problem is, I really need Appaloosa in this deck, and unfortunately I don't have Appaloosa. And finally, the final card of my extra deck, Access Code Talker. Now, the thing is, I've only bought one box of Eternity Code, and I pulled both Access Code and Link Cross in the same box. That was amazing. This card is really stupidly strong. Now, the thing is, I don't really play a side deck, and with this, mostly because I don't have the cards to make the side deck. And really, the only side deck card I would want for this deck is evenly matched by changing, if I'm going second, changing Solemn Judgments for evenly match. But let me readjust. Okay, let me show you a turbo test hand real quick. Let's say this was, I started out with Doki Doki and Tactical Crusader. These were just generic that pull. Okay. Normal summon Doki Doki, activate Doki Doki's effect, discarding my Tactical Crusader. Special summoning Analyzer from deck. Activate Analyzer's effect. Excavate. Okay. Summoning the Guardian, and I'm only going to go up to the reason why I play Dawn Dragster in this deck. Link these two off. Where's Crystron Cancer? There he is. Summon Cancer. Cancer's effect. Let's see, I had O-Lion. Summon O-Lion. Really not bothering shuffling right now, just to speed things up. Link off. Make Link Cross. Make 2 tokens. Use O-Lion and a token. Thing is, these are level 1 tokens, by the way. To make Marcher Mail Marcher. Marcher Mail Marcher's effect activates. When this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon 1 tuner from your graveyard, but its effect's negated. That's fine. We've already used his excavation effect, as well as activating O-Line's effect. Special summon our level 3 tuner. Our level 3 token. Just synchroning Metal Marcher off to get our Herald. And just because we have it on the field, just go ahead and special summon just in case. Now sync these 2 off. And to make Dawn Dragster. So literally just between 2 cards, we got essentially 1 Omni Negate, and also stops hand traps for the rest of the turn. And a multi-negator. This is the reason why I play Dawn Dragster, and I would advise, if O-Line does not get hit on the restriction list, if it's not banned, which I don't think it will be, I would advise a lot of people to start playing Dawn Dragster in their Admancipator decks. But that's just me. And this was just a generic field. I'm not going to go into full combos. So, did you like my deck profile? If you did, leave a comment. If you didn't, you can leave a comment. It's like, well, what do you not like about it? Other than, it's like, you're playing Admancipator? Ew! Please don't do that. Leave a comment also if what cards you think I should try to test out. But stay tuned for the next one. Bye.